Welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and today we continue to look at the case of 34-year-old Eliza Fletcher, mom of two, who was abducted on Friday, September 2nd, 2022 in Memphis, Tennessee, while she was out on a routine jog around 4 in the morning. There was a dark SUV captured on surveillance footage staking out the area for about 24 minutes, practically waiting for her to pass by. Now, as we know, she routinely jogged this route, so maybe this abductor, Cleotha Abston, knew her route, watched her for a while, and abducted her, or maybe it was a crime of opportunity. We are yet to find out. But she was forced into this GMC terrain, and in the struggle, Cleotha Abston actually lost one of his slides. Yes, he was wearing Champion slides, which also tells me it's not the most planned event, because if he was planning to swiftly abduct her, premeditated, I don't know if he would be wearing slides to this. But let me know what you think. But thankfully, because one of his slides slipped off, the police were able to retrieve it and scan it for DNA. And because he'd just gotten out of prison in 2020 after serving for 20 years for a previous kidnapping charge, they were very quickly to identify who they were looking for on the DNA system, of course. And so they swooped in on his home and his brother's home. His brother was also arrested on unrelated charges. And Cleotha Abston was arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence, and has also recently been charged with identity theft and other things, which we will look at in this episode. Now, the news that I want to bring to you today is, of course, the search for Eliza continues. However, a body has been discovered, and it's very close to Mario, Cleotha's brother's home. And that's important because Cleotha went to Mario's home to clean the car with floor cleaner and also to wash his clothes in the sink, and neighbors said he was acting really strange. So let's have a look at that breaking news together. And if there's any press conferences or official statements from the Memphis Police Department, of course, I'll be there with you and we'll cover it together. So let's first look at this. Okay, so the New York Post says, body found in search for missing Tennessee teacher Eliza Fletcher. A body was found in Tennessee Monday amid a search for missing Memphis teacher Eliza Fletcher, cops said. The Memphis Police Department said that a deceased body was discovered at about 5 p.m., I believe it was 5:07 p.m., in the area where the woman went missing. The identification of the body was not immediately confirmed, nor was the cause of death. Fletcher, 34, who comes from a pedigreed Tennessee family that founded a $3.2 billion private hardware company, vanished on Friday after being violently abducted during her early morning jog. Cleotha Abston was charged Sunday with especially aggravated kidnapping in her snatching. His motive for kidnapping the mom of two remains unclear. He apparently, as he forced her into the vehicle idled for 4 minutes, which could feel like forever in a scenario like that, of course, and then drove off. Tennessee authorities obtained surveillance footage of the kidnapping, which appeared to show Abston running aggressively toward the victim and then forcing the victim, Eliza Fletcher, into the passenger side of the vehicle, according to a police affidavit, which also said there appeared to be a struggle. If you missed the first and second video that I've done on this case, please check that out because we've gone through the affidavits and everything so far. Today I'll read you the new one of Cleotha Abston's new charges. And he's got a rap sheet that starts from when he was 12 years old. So I feel like the system has failed Eliza, because this man, based on his criminal records, should probably never have been let out of prison or have been monitored exceptionally closely, right? So this is him, Cleotha Abston. We looked at him yesterday. He calls himself Pookie as well. And we also looked at his brother, Mario Abston, who is an aspiring rapper. And you can find his YouTube channel as well under YOLO Biza. So police described Fletcher's abduction as violent and said it's believed that she suffered serious injury. Further, it's probable and apparent from witness statements that these injuries left evidence of blood in the car the defendant cleaned. It continued. The body on Monday was found less than a mile from where witnesses told police they saw Abston cleaning the GMC terrain. Police confirmed he used to allegedly abduct Fletcher. So we are going to do some map time, so make sure you hang in for that as well. Abston had driven to his brother's home in Memphis about 3.5 hours after the alleged attack. His brother and another witness reported seeing the 38-year-old cleaning the interior of the SUV and said he was acting very strange. Investigators on Monday roped off about a mile radius surrounding the location where the body was found, near an abandoned elementary school. Wow. Abston was arrested Saturday morning, but authorities said he refused to tell them Fletcher's location. He was busted after a Good Samaritan found sandals at the scene of the crime with DNA linking him to the alleged kidnapping. He's being held on a $500,000 bond and has prior run-ins with the law, including a previous conviction for kidnapping an attorney when he was just 16 years old. And we're going to dive deeper into that case as well. Abston served 20 years in prison for the earlier case and was released in 2020. Neighbors described Abston as a creep and a pervert who constantly tried to pay women for sex, according to a report. Fletcher is a married mom of 2 young boys and an elementary school teacher. That is so sad. So let's just quickly see this report here. Eliza Fletcher's suspect is a creep who tried to pay for sex, neighbors say. All right, so the convicted kidnapper charged with snatching Tennessee teacher and hardware heiress Eliza Fletcher was a creep and a pervert who constantly tried to pay women for sex, according to neighbors. Cleotha Abston is being held on a $500,000 bond on charges of tampering with evidence and especially aggravated kidnapping of Fletcher, a mom who remained missing Monday. The suspect had long been considered by neighbors to be a disturbing figure while staying with his brother, a convicted felon who was also arrested on connected drug charges at a Memphis housing complex, swamped over the weekend by officers who were seen taking away a large dumpster. Wow, okay. He gave me creepy vibes. He would look at you some type of way, one female neighbor told WREG. One neighbor also told the Daily Mail that Abston would sit in the truck and stare at women and offer them money for sex. He was a weird pervert, said the neighbor, only giving the name April. He watched me come on the porch, then came up the stairs behind me and said, "I'll give you $100 to F-U-C-K," the woman told the outlet. When she asked if he thought she was a hoe that needs your money, he reportedly replied, "It ain't like that, I just want to have some fun." Another neighbor, Latoya, 35, told the same outlet that Abston also propositioned her and her 20-year-old niece earlier this year. He kept waving me over to him and was like, "I've got $100. Oh my word. Cleotha's flexing his $100 around. "As far as I know, nobody here have sex with him," she said. "He's creepy, really creepy." Abston, who dubbed himself a wild child on social media, had only been out 2 years from prison where he was serving time for being charged with violently kidnapping an attorney. He was just 16 when he forced local attorney Kemper Durant into the trunk of a car, only fleeing after the lawyer yelled for help while withdrawing cash from an ATM, reports noted at the time. He was linked by DNA test to a pair of Champion slides left at the scene, and his cell phone put him at the scene of Friday's abduction. Tennessee authorities obtained surveillance footage of the kidnapping, which allegedly showed Abston running aggressively toward the victim and then forced the victim, Eliza Fletcher, into the passenger side of the vehicle. During the abduction, there appeared to be a struggle, noticeable damage to the back passenger taillight area. As the abduction was violent, as captured on video, the suspect waiting for and then rushing towards the victim, then forcing the victim into the car where she was confined and removed and continues to be missing. It's believed and supported by the facts and physical evidence that she suffered serious injury, the affidavit said. Wow, okay, so they say an arraignment has been set for Tuesday, which would actually be today, Tuesday, September 6, 2022. Online court records do not show if Abston has a lawyer who can comment on his behalf. His 36-year-old brother, Mario Abston, was also charged Sunday with possession with intent to manufacture and sell both fentanyl and heroin, as well as possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. He's currently not believed to be connected to Fletcher's abduction, police stressed. A wannabe rapper, oh wow, they just say it like that. He does have 198 subscribers, okay? A wannabe rapper under the name Yola Biza The younger brother had lost his wife, Nikita Dixon, 31, to a drug overdose in March last year, according to his social media as well as neighbors. He was in bed with his wife when she died, and Mario's definitely going to go through something himself, the neighbor April told the Mail. Wow. Okay, so now what I want to show you is the latest charges that Cleotha is facing. Okay, so here we have the affidavit of complaint. Thank you so much to the docket at ChasingPaper89 on Twitter for sending me this. State of Tennessee, Shelby County. Comes now, Sergeant J. Seeley, and made oath that on or about Thursday, September 1st, 2022, so this was a day before Eliza was abducted, in said county and within the jurisdiction of the Criminal Court of Shelby County, Tennessee, one Cleotha Henderson, aka Cleotha Abston, date of birth 11/27/1983, whose last known address is 4781 Waterstone Oakway, Memphis, Tennessee 38115, did unlawfully commit the offense of identity theft, theft of property less than $1,000, fraudulent use of credit or debit card less than $1,000, the essential facts constituting said offenses and the source of the affiant's information are as follows. On Thursday, September 1st, 2022, Jasmine Batista filed a theft report with the Memphis Police Department. Batista advised that unknown individual was using her Cash App card and Wisely card at gas stations without her knowledge or consent. Batista left her wallet at work, Malco at 1080 Germantown Road, and later learned through text alerts that her cards were being used. Investigators retrieved video from 1080 Germantown Road showing an employee of the cleaning service taking victim's wallet. Mary Pickens, manager of the cleaning company, identified the employee in the video as Cleotha Henderson. Victim was able to give investigators locations where the cards were used and amounts taken. Investigators went to 2468 Elvis Presley Boulevard and 2260 Elvis Presley Boulevard and retrieved videos of Cleotha Henderson Abston using the cards at the gas pumps. Batista suffered a loss of $910.80. These offenses occurred in Memphis, Shelby County, Tennessee. Wow, and here we've got a warrant, State of Tennessee, Shelby County, to any lawful officer of the state. Information on oath having been made that the offense, identity theft, theft of property less than $1,000, fraudulent use of the debit or credit card, have or has been committed, and accusing one Cleotha Henderson, aka Cleotha Abston. He's got a lot of names, dude. Whose last known address was 5781 Waterstone Oakway, Memphis, Tennessee. Therefore, you are hereby commanded in the name of the state to arrest said defendant and bring him before me or any judge of the General Sessions Criminal Court State. Now, this was before he abducted Eliza Fletcher. So there was already a warrant for his arrest out there before he even committed this crime. Oh, my word. And sorry, here's the first page of it as well, which doesn't have all that much on it, but I'll just show it to you anyway so you can see some of his stats. I see some of you have been asking, about that. So he's 6 foot, 175 pounds, born 11/27/1983. He's got lots of names: Cleotha Henderson, Cleotha Abston, Cleotha Pookie or Pookle Abston, and all kinds of other names that he's made up for himself. So that is the new charges. It's actually not new charges. It's actually previous charges. It's just now we know about it. Okay, so now the next thing on the list for today is Maptime. Okay, I'm starting with a zoomed out map so that you can see the whole area. 1544 Carr Avenue would be Eliza's house, and she left around 4 a.m. jogging in an eastward direction going towards the University of Memphis on a routine route. So here at Central Avenue and Zach H. Curlin Street you could see the University of Memphis here. That is around the area where she was abducted from and where the champion slides were found. I believe at a home nearby. They found her cell phone and water bottle as well. So then it appears that Cleotha drove westward, southwestward again, and then towards this Longview Gardens area. Now this area, if you look here, let me take you closer. If you look at all the police photos that are out, which we'll look at, I'll put a picture up on screen so you can see it. Then you can see here, there's a tower, and they are very close to this tower here. So they've sealed off or blocked off with crime scene tape. This time it actually is crime scene tape, because they did find a body in this area, this Longview Gardens area. And also here, this street specifically, this Chestnut Avenue one around here, this Victor Street, is completely blocked off. So by now it would likely be cleared by the time you're seeing this video, but that's what was blocked off and where all the activity took place and where we could see all the videos and things from. Now the thing is, if we look at the address listed as Cleotha's last known address, it's actually this one here at Waterstone Oakway. This one. 5781 Waterstone Oakways, which I'm a little confused about because that's quite a distance away from where they say his brother's house is. So maybe that was his house, but then some reports are saying he lived with his brother. But I believe his brother lives in this Longview Gardens area. So if we were to look there, and here you can see a dumpster like the one they towed away. So this is the Longview Gardens area. Here's another one. And so if I take you, let me rather take you on Google Earth to the area where the police are now standing. Okay, so we were just there at the Longview Gardens area. So if we go here, you can see the tower right there. And let's put the little man here so you can actually see what I mean. Okay, so there's the tower. So we'd have to go around the block. Shall we drive? I know you guys like driving with me. We're going around the corner in this neighborhood. Let's just see it from here. Yep. So this is the area around where the brother lived. And there you can see this tower where police have blocked off the area. Here's a dumpster. And I think that he actually wraps around this dumpster, which is actually really freaking weird. I mean, the brother. Wow. I mean, if I look around, it kind of looks like the area where he lives, right? You could see it behind us there. We just did a drive-by. Wow. That Longview Gardens area. So, how freaky would that be if he's wrapping right by the dumpster that was later towed away? So I wonder what was put in that dumpster. Was it perhaps a weapon or what? So let's go this way. Now you're going to see it nicely. Yep. So we've seen this in some of the photos as well. Here's the tower. So they're standing literally right here. This whole scene, this whole area has been blocked off, or was blocked off, as they discovered a body, which they are yet to confirm if that is Eliza's body or not. This must be so stressful for her family. Oh my word. But let's just wait to see if they do confirm that this is Eliza, because there is a chance that it isn't. It's unlikely, but there's a chance that it isn't. So yes, around this area is where they blocked everything off. I believe the body was found in along this street. I stand corrected, but it's from everything that I've seen on the reports so far. Okay, so let's have a look at Kemper Durant's case. This was the man that Cleotha Abston kidnapped in 2000 and was sentenced to prison for 20 years for. So they say prosecutor escaped Cleotha Abston's clutches after Eliza Fletcher suspect held him at gunpoint. Okay, so Memphis, Tennessee. The man charged with the abduction of Tennessee heiress Eliza Fletcher was accused of SA as a young teen and previously served 20 years for violently kidnapping a prosecutor. According to the court records obtained by the Memphis Commercial Appeal, Cleotha Abston, 38, has a juvenile record dating back to when he was just 12, with charges including aggravated assault with a weapon and SA. Abston was just 16 when he kidnapped Memphis-based prosecutor Kemper Durant at gunpoint in the early hours of May 25, 2000, reports from the Time show. Durant had testified that only luck had saved him from being killed that day. Oh my word. Luck, right? 13 years later, Durant's former law firm, Lewis & Thomason, recalled in an obit after the attorney's death, obituary, right? That Abston held a gun at Kemper's face and demanded his car keys and forced him into the trunk. For the next several hours, Kemper was trapped in the cold darkness of his car trunk as Abston and an even younger teen with him drove the car throughout the city, the firm's obit recalled. From time to time, the car would stop. The men would open the trunk, pull Kemper out, make him withdraw money from an ATM machine. It was only after several hours that the attorney spotted an armed security guard near one of the ATMs, the report said. Kemper yelled for help, and his attackers fled, the document noted. Abston was later convicted of aggravated robbery as well as especially aggravated kidnapping, the latter being one of two charges he was again hit with Sunday, September 4th, for allegedly abducting Fletcher, the 34-year-old teacher and hardware heiress who had still not been found Monday. He was sentenced in 2001 to serve 24 years in prison, and Durant fought for him to remain locked up when he tried to challenge the sentence, according to records obtained by the Commercial Appeal. My feelings about being the victim of this crime and the feelings of those around me are that I was extremely lucky that I was able to escape from the custody of Cleotha Abston, the attorney wrote in a victim impact statement objecting to the 2003 bid, the paper noted. It was very fortunate that an armed, uniformed Memphis Housing Authority guard happened to come across them, he reportedly wrote. It's quite likely that I would have been killed had I not escaped. And he's probably right, huh? It was in that impact statement that Durant detailed Abston's record, noting how he had appeared in juvenile court records in 1996, 97, 98, and 99. The report did not detail if he was convicted or exactly what led to the charges, including the alleged essay. Durant also ripped Abston for taking more than a year to sign a guilty plea, citing the refusal as jailhouse braggadocio, the records reportedly said. In sharp contrast, Durant had testified on behalf of Abston's co-accused, Marquette Cobbins, to try to get him a lighter sentence, his law firm noted. As Kemper saw it, the man was at the wrong place with the wrong person at the wrong time, his law firm said, making clear that the late attorney always viewed Abston as his sole kidnapper. He testified to hearing Cobbins begging Abston to stop the car, let this man out, give him his keys, and go. After his appeal, the judge agreed to give Cobbins the lightest possible sentence, the obit said. He was sentenced to 7.5 years and was eligible for parole after 18 months, the Memphis Flyer noted at the time. Durant died in early February 2013. Abston was released in November 2020, the Commercial Appeal said. He does not appear to have any document charges against him in the last 2 years in the Memphis area, although neighbors called him creepy and a pervert, saying he would offer them money for sex. Abston was busted Sunday after DNA testing on a pair of sandals left at the site of Fletcher's abduction, with video footage later showing him allegedly violently abducting the mom during her daily early morning jog. Before his arrest, he was also seen washing the inside of his work SUV and scrubbing his clothes while acting very strange, according to the document. Abston, 38, is being held on a $500,000 bond on charges of tampering with evidence and especially aggravated kidnapping. So let's just check this one to verify that what we know about kidnapping suspect Cleotha Abston. We're digging into the background of the man now charged with abducting Eliza Fletcher. Cleotha Abston sits in jail, apparently saying very little about the kidnapping of Eliza Fletcher, but police have been able to link him to the crime, saying that Abston was driving an SUV seen in surveillance video at the crime scene. That SUV belonged to Gwendolyn Brown, who lives at a southeast Memphis apartment complex. Yes, I'm upset. I am very upset, Brown said. We went to Brown's home Monday. She said she admitted the truck was hers, and she said she wanted to talk, but would have to call us. She refused to say how she knows Cleotha Abston, but adamantly stressed that she was not his girlfriend. We also found police at Brown's apartment checking out the damage to a glass door. There's no word on what happened. It's not the only address connected to Cleotha Abston. An apartment complex in Fraser is listed as Abston's address, but we're told his mother actually lives there. While his mother wasn't home, his uncle by marriage said this kidnapping charge is a surprise. In 2000, as a juvenile, Cleotha Abston was charged and later convicted of kidnapping Memphis attorney Kemper Durant as he was walking from a party on Beale Street, driving the lawyer around in his trunk and forcing him to get money from an ATM. That same lawyer has been linked to Eliza Fletcher's family. Abston was sentenced to 20 years. He was released in 2018. We know he worked for a cleaning service. In fact, it was his boss who described to police the vehicle that Abston had been driving, the one that matched what police saw on the video of the abduction. Cleotha Abston is also facing additional charges of identity theft, theft of property $1,000 or less, and fraudulent use of a debit card $1,000 or less in relation to an incident that happened the day before Fletcher's abduction. According to the affidavit, a woman reported her debit cards were stolen to make several purchases after she left her wallet at work. Investigators said surveillance showed Abston, who was later identified by his manager, taking her wallet while he was working for the cleaning service. He spent a total of $901.80. Abston's brother Mario remains in jail on drug charges. Back at his apartment, neighbors say they didn't know much about Mario and never met Cleotha. Cleotha Abston is set to go before a judge Tuesday morning. So we will be monitoring that, of course, and if we are able to see it, maybe we'll meet again later in the day live. Okay, here's a video of the crime scene. So it's the taped off area. Here's another one. Bria Jones says, on scene, the MPD command center has moved here near Marjorie and Person. This is very close to where a dumpster was towed from outside Cleo Abston's brother's apartment yesterday morning. Alright, so here you can see this as well. Which now you can also see that tower we talked about earlier. And here, Jordan James says, earlier today our crew stopped by the home of the woman who owns the alleged vehicle used in Eliza Fletcher's abduction.
Yes, I am upset. I'm very upset.
When we went to Brown's home Monday, she admitted the truck was hers and said she wanted to talk to us, but would have to call us.
I'm willing to talk.
Are you Miss Brown?
Yes, I am.
Are you Gwendolyn Brown?
Yes, I am.
That was your car that Cleotha was in?
I just told you when you leave that car so we could be able to talk.
She refused to say how she knows Cleotha Abston, but adamantly stressed she was not his girlfriend.
All right, and then I would like to show you two more things, okay? I'm going to show you just a tiny snippet here of this Shane Carey interview. This is the fiance of a person who was missing, Heidi Broussard. Her daughter was also missing. And you see, the thing is, if we were to go back in time and look at just this interview, we're all going to red flag it in the true crime community. But the thing is, he was found to literally not be involved at all in her disappearance. In fact, it was her friend that not only murdered Heidi and stashed her away in the trunk of a car, but also stole her daughter. But if you look at how awkward Shane here is in this interview, the reason I want to show you this is because I know we've looked at the family plea and we've said, wow, the husband's like wiping away no tears, right? But it could be sweat, as we said. It could be anxiety. It could be angst. It could just be terror, you know? We don't know at this point. And I'm sorry that in the first episode, I even entertained the speculations and rumors that were out there because I actually know not to do that. I'm so sorry for doing that because we don't know in any way that the husband is connected to Cleotha, to Mario, to this crime, to the abduction, or anything like that. So we have to be careful about that, especially in the true crime community, as you can see how it can go. You know, if we go down those paths, then number one, it can ruin lives, like destroy lives forever. But two, wow, people can really take something so small and then later end up saying the entire case isn't even real. You know what I mean? So let's just have a look at this clip quickly.
I don't know. I don't know, she's just an amazing mom. I don't know. I don't know. I need to stand up. I don't know. I can't sit here. This is like making me so. I feel funny.
You want to stand up?
There's like light. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not good in this situation.
So see that little clip there? We would all be like, oh my word, he's smiling, he's laughing, he's being so awkward, so strange, like red flag alert. But literally, in this case, he had nothing to do with it. So let's be cautious, okay? I still gonna sometimes, if I see, like, you know, in Kylie Rodney's case, I believe, and again it's rumor, so I'll say this cautiously, I believe the rumor now is that Sammy's lawyered up. I mean, she probably should have lawyered up from day one, but you see, maybe at some point the red flags would pan out as like, whoop, they really were red flags. But I know that red flags are also just a pin to put there, just like caution, this looks suspicious, but let's just make sure we don't connect the dots of red flag equals murder. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm concerned about, is when people see there's some red flags mentioned, that immediately they're like, oh yeah, that's murder. This person's definitely guilty. We got to be careful to make those conclusions. If we're going to analyze or speculate or talk about any red flags, it cannot have an equal sign with it. We can just look at it and patiently wait to see, well, what happens in this case, as we are doing in many cases that we are following. Thank you so much to Axel for sending me Eliza Fletcher's YouTube account. Let's have a look at some of the clips and see what a wonderful person she is until we confirm. I'm not going to say was yet because we have no confirmation of that, but let's have a look.
We were back at St. Mary's, but I wanted to touch base and say, hey, so I miss you guys so much, but I am with my boys and we want to show you some things that we've been doing. So I'm going to stop this video, but I have a couple of more videos and pictures that I hope you'll see to give you some ideas of things you can do with me at your house, or just so you can see me.
I'm going to pause it there because we've got a kid on the picture now. So let's just have a look at her channel here.
19, 10, 4, 13, 12.
She's so patient, right? She's a kindergarten teacher. So, and I'm guessing due to the lockdown situation that she was doing a lot of online classes. I'm going to end this video by leaving you with this wonderful video of Eliza Fletcher, a bright light, and she's singing a little song over here, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. So I will keep you posted on any new developments in the case, if we see Cleotha Abston's court proceedings, if whoever they found out there is identified, I will keep you posted. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you again soon.
Hey girls, it's Miss Fletcher. So before we go, I wanted to remind you of something that we do at St. Mary's that's so special and that I miss a lot. So I want to see if you can join in with me. We're going to sing This Little Light of Mine. Okay? Ready? This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Shine all over St. Mary's School, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over St. Mary's School, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Miss you girls. Now you need to let the light shine at your house and I will see you later. But wait, 1 second. I heard somebody that you might want to meet. Janie, come here, girl. Come here, Janie. Come here, Janie. Hey, look, girls. This is Janie. And Janie is the girl in our house because there's 2 little boys and a Mr. Fletcher, and so there's just me and Jane. And I miss all of you girls so much. Bye.